All right, guys, so we are looking at 3D printed Shopify stores, and we're looking at what they're doing well, what they could be doing better, and what they could do to increase their sales. So right here, we're looking at PatrickMiniatures, which fairly standard. I've seen this template before for Shopify websites. Don't want white text on a convoluted background. You would want to simplify that. There's so much inside of there, and none of it is readable. I'm sorry. I mean, I am reasonably young, but and I have reasonably decent eyesight, but I have no idea what is in there, and I'm not even going to see it as I'm scrolling past. So if you want to, you can give this like a gradient or get a simpler background or put this text over here on this side, and then it gets a lot cleaner. Those are good, easy ways of cleaning up the header. But overall, let's look at items here. So for this store, we were looking at these items. So decent number of sales, good number of reviews. Miniature, looks like miniatures, miniature files. Are these files? Miniatures for tabletop RPG. I think these are, oh no, these might look for fresh 3D printed with the latest generation. Oh, these are 3D printed. So these are resin prints. Yeah, there are resin 3D printing services that you can plug into, and these items are small enough that they generally come out okay. The preparation for these files can be a lot if you're designing them yourself. If you're getting them from like a Patreon, it can be faster. Let's see, what else? Yeah, these type of miniatures, you want to make sure you're using resin. You don't want to use FDM. That obviously doesn't work at all because the detail just isn't there. Okay, so mainly prints of all these things. Let's look at some of the larger ones. That's pretty low cost. How? I want to know how he's getting these made. Okay, so he's selling STL files. That's a good way to do that. News, intelligence, STL files, terms and conditions, about us. I want to know about the store a little bit more. 2020. Okay, so COVID startup. High quality. Yeah. Okay, so this might be. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's their operation there for their printing. They're using both FDM and resin machines. So yeah, they're having to do it all themselves, which is fine. Because printing lets you have inventory without having inventory, because you don't have to produce the parts until you need it. It can create a slowdown for it. They moved to Strasbourg in 2023. As we continue to expand, is led by Patrick and Monica. Yeah, so they're using both FDM printing for terrain, I presume, and then resin printing for the actual miniatures themselves. The labor on that could be a lot because, like the miniatures, the resin miniatures, everybody thinks resin's all quick and easy. It's not. You have support all over the place that has to be post-processed, so the business of it can be really tough. And it's not really like you're operating almost an artisan business in that regard, as opposed to FDM, where if you design it, well, it comes off the part machine and goes right into a box. But looking at the website, there we go. Website, there we go. Okay. So they're doing all that. Let's see. What are all the items they have? Good genres. How many items per genre? A lot of items per genre. So I am not terribly close to the D&D world. So I don't know what the pricing of these are. I think this is fairly standard. I did go through a gamer shop there, and I interact with the gamer world. So they do have to be $5 to $10 generally, because that's just the expectation. The sets are obviously very attractive. I think the sets could be more expensive. Again, I don't know where the pricing is, but for the single miniatures, that's what you got to do, because these are little guys. From a cost of goods standpoint, it's not bad. The photography is great because you get to do this render photography, and people don't worry about it because you just show it in front of dice. You know how big this thing is, and then you show it in a lot of detail, and then people get an idea of what the result will be. So right here, let's see here. This is an example of the 3D prints. So you know how much detail comes out of them all. But then just really good detail on this particular design. And it looks like, are they solving? Yes, they are sourcing the miniatures from a different designer, which is fine. You can get the different model sizes, which knock these out. Yep, that's all good. Good SEO description, laying it out. And based on customer review. Oh. Has good sculpts. Well, that's weird. A 1-star review for a good review fairly recently. That's just odd. But anyhow, okay. They have reviews of all of these items, which is surprising. And congratulations, guys. That's great. To have every item actually have a sale of the item is a big deal. Especially, what is the most popular? Okay, so sets are really popular. Cyberpunk gals popular. Okay, the fact that you can render the imagery is really useful because you can get a really scalable way of deploying these. You can create the products, but you never actually have to print them out and take photos of them until people actually order them. Good prints, all the rest of it, good work. Let's see here. What do the prints look like? That's amazing. Oh, right there, you can kind of see that little dot right there. That might be a support pockmark. But yeah, anyhow, these miniatures are often painted and that kind of thing. So yeah, all of it goes around there. But to have sales of every item is very impressive. Congratulations on that. Is that true of all these categories? Fantasy has the most. Yeah, reviews of almost everything. Wow. Congratulations. That's tough to do. To have like every product have a review. Generally, you can attribute like 5 to 10 purchases to any single review. These might be different because in the D&D space, it's small and very tight-knit, so the reviews might come more readily. But congratulations. This is great. All right, what's the smallest one? Vietnam War. How many are there? There are no reviews here. I found the one. So D&D guys don't want to do standard war stuff. What about World War II? There we go. Those are all the reviews. But anyhow, so yeah, 3D printed miniatures going in here to the houses. These would be printed with like the FDM machine generally. Those look kind of resiny to me. But they could be done with FDM. I mean, the difference is very trivial on stuff like this. I think that's rendering. Yeah, that's rendering. But overall, no, it looks good. Well, Patrick Miniatures, good job, guys. I mean, this is great. Overall, the website is laid out well. You're obviously getting the sales that you're looking for because pretty much everything is reviewed until I scroll right here. And now these are all new. These are new items. So yeah, brand new items will take a minute to kind of gel. Do any of them have reviews of the brand new items? Let's see. There we go. Okay, yeah, they start creeping up a little bit. There we go. There's some World War I stuff or World War II stuff. Okay. Sweet. All right. So yeah, good miniatures there. Started in 2020. Like 4 years is a while, but it's not that long of a while. So if you're able to create a bunch of models, get them posted, do good content, good photography, and then just let it sit, and then make sure you deliver when people come by, you can have a really sustainable business because they're very clearly moving a decent number of these things. So D&D, the miniatures for board games and that kind of thing are always a really good kind of place because they play into a particular niche where people can people generally don't have everything that they want for their particular hobby because there's only a few of them. So printing allows you to create products that those people wouldn't be able to get otherwise. As far as growing the business, if they were interested in more FDM for the terrain, they could continue adding models, and then they don't have to create models, create listings, do customer support, and run a factory in the back end. I mean, as a small business, that starts to turn into a lot of work. 506 people were recently active. That's cool. A lot of traffic coming up through here. I just got a pop up over here on the left side. I don't think you guys can see it. But if you can delegate some of those functions, manufacturing, customer support, photography, whatever it happens to be, if you can give that away or hire people for it, you want to. Because each one of those things is something that the business has to do, but doesn't necessarily make your product better. You guys are delivering miniatures for people. So anything that slows you down from delivering those miniatures, whether it's your own systems or customer support or whatever else it was, should be addressed and potentially outsourced to folks who are better. So always look for those kind of things. Since it is a Shopify site, there's a 3D printing Shopify plugins where you can just match a file to the service, and then whenever somebody orders that part, you can get it printed and shipped directly to them. Since you are in Strasbourg, this would be really useful for the U.S. market because then you can get like the terrain delegated to like Slant 3D is based inside the United States. So if terrain is purchased, then it can be printed and shipped inside the States, and you don't have to have international shipping costs and wait times. But Slant 3D doesn't do any resin stuff, so that's not terribly useful for you in here. But it's an option for, again, like the terrain pieces. So, but overall, the website is fine. Could be refined a little bit more, but I mean, it's function forward. and the parts get across the information that they need to get across. So overall, this is a good website.